Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Coolidge After Midnite. Yeah. Partying. My name is Mark Anastasio. I'm the program manager here at the Coolidge Corner Theater and the programmer of the Coolidge After Midnite film series, which you guys are all regulars of, I assume, right? You guys are my people, our people, that have supported this film series throughout the years. This is a very special evening that we have going on here tonight. This is the first ever Coolidge After Midnite Award. Yeah, we're excited. We're very excited. This film series has been going strong now we've always done Midnights here at the Coolidge, but for the last 5 years in particular have been super successful. And it's because of your repeat attendance that this series gets to live on. So I want to first of all thank you so very much for patronizing this theater over the years. Any first-timers here tonight, like joining the cult? Cool. Well, what we do here at the Coolidge After Midnite, I mean, first and foremost, we play the weird shit, right? We play our favorite films, the stuff that can't be shown in prime time. We all congregate here at the midnight hour on Fridays and Saturdays and watch the finest films available many times, most often from a 35 millimeter print. So that's where our projection booth really comes in as a major player in all this. The fact that the Coolidge still runs 35 millimeter is huge, and you guys are supporting that, and I can't thank you enough for doing that. I'm getting misty already, but that might just be the 2 bourbons I had at Regal Beagle. So 35 millimeter film is something that brings us here every weekend. Aside from watching our favorite movies, what it is that this film series is trying to do is maintain a communal portion of a movie watching experience. The fact that we get an audience together, it may seem like a simple thing, but it's dying, right? So like we need to be coming together to watch these films on a big screen, and that is why we chose the filmmaker that we have with us tonight to be here with us, because Lloyd Kaufman has been committed to independent film for decades. Trauma's getting close to what? The 40th year of existence? Has that happened yet?
72 years.
72 years on the planet Earth. Trauma has been not producing and distributing the types of films that you wouldn't be able to see otherwise. So when my head projectionist Nick Lazaro and I were discussing Hey Nick, how's it going?
I'm chilling.
Nick and I were discussing what we would do for an award if we were to do it for the first time, and Lloyd was the first person on our list, and he graciously accepted our invitation to be here tonight. To receive this inaugural honor. This is the first time we've done it, and we've got the best in the business here with us tonight. I'm so glad that we had such a good turnout. Lloyd is a director, an entertainment giant, president of Trauma Entertainment. The film you're watching tonight is probably one of his most iconic and enduring creations. You guys probably grew up. I grew up watching the Toxic Avenger cartoon, Toxic Crusaders. I had the Marvel comics. This is something that was created in the 80s and still lives on. Like, based on this audience, it's still huge today, which is no small feat. Other things that Trauma has done. Trauma mostly, what really inspires me about Trauma is the fact that they distribute these films that no other film distributor would ever touch. We've got some local filmmakers that have even been picked up just recently by Trauma that you might see coming through here in soon months. It's a wonderful thing that this man and this company does for this art form, and in keeping it truly independent. I want to take a little bit of time now to show you guys just a sampling, a sampling of the work that Lloyd has done in film over the years, thanks to our good friends at the Whore Church. The Whore Church, ladies and gentlemen. Video mixtape specialists, video artistes, right? Artistes. Let's run that clip for you now, and we'll be right back with Lloyd and the very first Coolidge After Midnite Award.
God bless America, limp dick.
That video was probably explanatory enough. I didn't actually have to say a word. But as this is an award like for support of midnight cinema culture, it's obvious that the recipient should be none other than Lloyd Kaufman for this very first Coolidge After Midnite Award for his commitment to truly independent cinema and the further of our love of midnight movies. So give it a round of applause for Lloyd Kaufman.
That is unbelievable. Well, thank you so much. Doxy's here. My beautiful wife, Pat Kaufman, is here. The film commissioner of the great state of New York. Well, I don't want to hold this up too much, but what a great honor. What a beautiful award. Thank you to the Whore Church. Pope, what's his name, thanks you too, let me tell you. That's why he came to visit our great country, I noticed. Just visit the Whore Church. And Mark Anastasio, thank you so much for this great honor. No question, what a great honor. This theater is my personal favorite theater in the entire world. Not only is it named after a great president, Martha Coolidge, but it's what an oasis in a world of McDonald's-made art, and what a great place to be encouraging not just an old drunken low-budget movie producer, but so many young, up-and-coming, truly independent artists who know they have a home here in the wonderful Coolidge Corner. The Toxic Avenger is here. He's incredibly real. This amazing makeup took about 4 hours to do, but thank you, Toxie. This is actually a pretty historic film. It's the only movie in the history of cinema in which a young boy gets his head squashed by the wheel of an automobile that was made into a children's politically correct environmental Saturday morning cartoon show. Toxie! Any rate, we'll have a Q&A after the amazing 35 millimeter print. This is the extended print, which has the very rare Mayor Belgoody golfing scene in it, which many of you have asked for. And after the show, we'll have the Q&A. Also, was there something else we needed to talk about? Oh yeah, yes, indeed. We've got, by the way, if you want to see a lot of free Troma movies, we've got a channel, Troma Movies, on the Troma Movie channel on YouTube. We have about 200 movies there to thank our fans, as well as some of my make-your-own-damn movie lessons and a lot of short material. We put up new stuff every day. So if you go to Troma Movies, it's all free. Subscribe there, and it's free. And again, thank you to this wonderful theater. And as a thank you to you, fans who have supported us for 40 years, I brought a taste of Volume 2 of Return to Nukem High. Well, it's not color. It's kind of rough cut, but it's the opening scene from the movie. It's color corrected. It's not color corrected, nor is there any sound design. It's got kind of a scratch track, which means that it probably will look better than the final product. So, anyway, thank you so much. I gave you the DVD, I hope, or did I give Mark? Oh, good, great. So again, thank you so much for this wonderful honor, and especially I would like to thank Wallace Raymer right here in the audience, an educational expert who has very intellectual and come to the fountain of true intellectual art. Thank you very, very much, Coolidge Corner, and we'll see you after the show for Q&A, is correct? And thank you for this beautiful, oh my heavens, this is, who needs an Oscar? You have to buy an Oscar. This comes from love. This comes from love. Love! Something we all need in this horrible age we're living in. Love, thank you, thank you. And you just saw it, thanks to the Whore Church. Love. Thank you. Thank you from Troma. Oh, God damn it. Oh, no. Hold on a second. Sorry. But, you know, we're not really, we at Troma are not really, here, you film this. Sorry. You know, we are not here to really, we don't do this to get awards. The awards, just the fact that you're here and people actually pay money to buy tickets. Michael Hers and I are always amazed. It's our 42nd year of Troma. We're amazed that people actually pay to see what we love to do. But since we're not really here to get awards, we actually created to give awards. And tonight, the film commissioner from the great state of New York, retired, is going to present a very coveted award. I'm not sure who's going to get it, but Toxie, if you could hold this for 1 second. Let me take the camera. And the film commissioner, what do you have to say, film commissioner from the great state of New York?
From the great state of New York. It's great to be in the great state of Massachusetts. And it's great to be at a theater where they really get what Troma is about, because it's not just all the crazy sex and violence and all that sort of stuff, but it's that Troma really has a message. Lloyd really has a message, but I think you know that, right? That within and underneath all these films, he's really trying to say things from his heart. So, and Coolidge Corners has been a place that has always understood that and valued that and recognized that. So we have tonight two official Troma diplomas. And going from the general to the specific, I too used to be a teacher. Going from the general to the specific, let's first say thank you to Coolidge Corner Theater, official Troma diploma. But then getting to the specific, because you've got fabulous programming that happens at this theater. And so the official Troma diploma also goes to Mark Anastasio for the programming that he does.
Thank you for the wonderful award. It's great. Thanks for watching The Toxic Avenger. By the way, this print has some footage that is not in any other prints. And those wonderful montages that go on and on forever are hilarious. They were, this was a Japanese version. If we could get the movie up to 95 minutes, we'd get a lot of money from Japan. So we got it up to 95 minutes. And this is the this print is the best quality print that we have. Who has a question?
Oh, right there in the front row, Steve, from the Horde Church, Steve.
Oh, Horde Church. Thank you, Steve. Again, thank you so much for that wonderful compilation. Troma's been around for over 40 years, and to see that, I realize I have totally wasted my life. To put all that together, oh my God, Jesus Christ. What was I thinking? No wonder we're broke. Yeah. Anyway, good job. Thank you so much. Big hand for the Horde Church. Yeah. Why did I direct under the cinnamon, whatever it is, pseudonym? Very good Malbec wine here, by the way. Why did I direct under the name of Samuel Weil? I was in the Directors Guild for a while, the union, because we were supporting Troma by my going out and getting jobs on movies like Rocky and Saturday Night Fever. And in order to do that, I had to be in the union. But that meant I couldn't direct movies that were not in the under the union thumb. So I would use the Samuel Weil, and I kept getting put up on charges. They kept putting me on trial, but they couldn't convict me because I didn't use my name. Michael Herz's name and Samuel Weil. And since I never used my name, they couldn't get me, but they kept kind of harassing us. So finally, I just quit. I left the union right before, I think it was after Troma's War. There was actually they had a trial, and this real fascist guy who ran the union in New York, they had a jury of the Directors Guild people, and he brought out the Daily News, and someone from the Daily News had come to the set of Troma's War and talked about me directing. And as an example, he said, and then Lloyd Kaufman told the woman with the large breasts to moan very loudly, and the man with the pig nose to snort. And he had it in yellow, in those yellow things where you. And I said to the jury, if you call this directing, your art form is in very bad shape. But. You said but, by the way.
But, yes, but at that time, you were at a certain level within the Directors Guild, and at the level at which you were not allowed to direct. That was the issue, that he could not direct because he was at the AD level or something like that. Today, the Directors Guild, in fact, when I became Commissioner of Film, they often said to me, really, we realized we made a mistake. We should have embraced what you were trying to do. We should have helped you. And they actually began to change the approach. But by then, you'd said goodbye and had gone your own way.
Thank you, Commissioner. I took a lot of acid in the 60s, so I don't, the brain doesn't work that well. But thank you, Hort Church. Good question. Good question.
Right behind there.
You said behind.
Right behind.
You said but, you said behind.
But
That's amazing.
and behind.
Wow, what a night. He said anus. Yes. Sorry. How did we get the what? You're welcome. That's Troma humor. How did we get the tank? You couldn't do it today. It was a different age. People were willing, the guy who ran the National Guard in Staten Island, he saw this as an opportunity for his men to have some fun and raise morale. Today, they wouldn't do it. They'd be scared. The bureaucrats are frightened. You can't get a school. We made the class of Newcomb High. No trouble getting a school, and we had plenty of schools we could film in. Now they're all scared. They're scared. They don't want to do anything that might possibly get them into any difficulty. So it was a different age. It was a different age.
In fact, for Troma's War, you had Camp Smith.
Yeah, Troma's War. We had a whole army camp, and we had co-ed barracks. The army was all male at Camp Smith, but we had the crew and actors. They were all living in the same. There was a lot of love going on right there in Camp Smith. But they would never let you unless it was a big budget. Tom Cruise flying or things like that. They would not. They would never let us. We couldn't even get a school anywhere near New York City. The only place we could get was Niagara Falls. Way up in northern New York. For Return to Newcomb High, volumes 1 and 2, yeah. Good question, though.
Anybody else? Yes, in the front here.
Hi. I saw a lot of cool references to directors like Kubrick and Lynch and Mel Brooks. I'm just wondering, it's actually a two-part question that has nothing to do with each other. But
well, hold on. What the first question? You saw references in this movie to Kubrick, Mel Brooks, and
Dr. Strangelove.
yeah, and what was the other director?
Mel Brooks, a little bit.
Well, I'm wearing Brooks Brothers jacket actually right here. So, yeah. But thank you, very good.
What your influences were as a child to make films?
When I was a child, I never thought about making films. I honestly was. I got to make movies when I went to college. And I was going in the 60s. I was going to, it was peace and love, and I was going to be a teacher or a social worker and make the world a better place and teach people with hooks for hands how to finger paint. Do things, teach bums how to paint happy faces on beads and string the beads together, stuff like that. But I got roomed with a movie nut at Yale my first year, and I started drifting into the Yale Film Society, and I became obsessed with movies, especially kind of those kind of movies that you just referred to, auteur type movies. So I decided that I didn't want to just teach the people with hooks for hands how to finger paint. I wanted to film them and give what I have to the movie-going public. So I honestly, when I went to college, I didn't even know there was such a thing as a film director. I didn't realize that. I had no idea that Charlie Chaplin was actually the filmmaker. He wasn't just the actor. So it came pretty late in life, but that may be why Yale lost the football game today. I can't remember who they played, though.
Any other questions? Yes.
Who did Yale play today? Anybody know? Who did Yale? Sorry. Yes.
So I just noticed a lot of message about breaking from the norm. What would you say is your core message for this film?
What is the core message for The Toxic Avenger? Well, there's a lot going on. I mean, the environment. We used to go camping. My wife, we still do, but my wife and I would go camping, and everywhere we went, there was garbage. And it wasn't biodegradable. McDonald's everywhere, like that dump where you saw the McDonald's thing. They weren't so that was one of the things. And then, of course, the whole following orders and all that stuff, the anti-corporate thing there, and the conspiracy of elites. Every movie I've made is Tromaville is a little town where the people can run their own lives. They don't need limousine liberals or fascists to tell them how to do it. They can do it themselves. And Tromaville is unfortunately victimized by a conspiracy of the labor elite, the labor leaders who are making millions of dollars while their constituency are eating dog food, the bureaucratic elite like the Congress of the United States who are feeding it the public trough, and the corporate elite. And we all know about that. And it's a club. It's an elite club of the three elites. And every movie I've made that's kind of lurks beneath the surface. And the underdog, yeah. We're the underground underdog promoters, promoters of the underdog and the underground. You're right, and also quite a bit of underwear, if I may say so, or lack thereof.
Not a lot of underwear.
No, yeah. Actually, I'm wearing ladies' underwear tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Where? I learned that at Yale University, too. It was all men. Thank you. Sorry.
Other questions? Come on, somebody's got one. Don't be shy. Yes, Jake.
Your actors have such a specific way of their mannerisms and stuff. Could you talk a bit about how you work with them and just how you direct them?
The gentleman noticed that the Troma style of acting is fairly unique in these days. It's very subtle. But you see, I was big into D.W. Griffith and that kind of stuff. It's silent films. It's silent film acting, and we enjoy everything of it exaggerated. But that's very perceptive. And there is a Troma style which exists. When you see the most recent one that I did, Return to Nukem High Volume 2, on which we're working, everybody's... It's always like that, it's not Meryl Streep. I wish it were.
And one more. Who's got the last one to close the Q&A? Down front. You seem confident.
Why is Toxic's voice so different when he changes to Toxic Avenger?
Why is the Toxic Avenger's voice when he changes?
Why is it so different than Melvin?
Why it's so different from Little Melvin? Chemical toxic waste. He fell into a, perfectly believable. I don't know. And what's really, people love that voice, the nice deep voice, And stupid me on the Toxic Avenger Part 2 and Part 3, I used a more, not adolescent, but a younger, not a deep radio voice. I used a kind of a real voice. How stupid was I? People were furious. Fans were furious. And in Citizen Toxie, the Toxic Avenger Part 4, which I think is the best one, we went back to the deep, mellifluous Toxie. Anyway, thank you so much to the Coolidge Corner. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Mark, what a great evening. Thanks for the award. And thank you to the great New York State Film Commissioner, Pat Swinney Kaufman, co-First Lady of Troma. And again, Michael Hers, my partner. Michael Hers and I have been making movies for over 40 years. He does not show himself in public, but he's a totally more shit disturbing than I could ever be. So he deserves major kudos. He just does not appear in public. Anyway, thank you again. Thank you so much.
Everyone, stop by Lloyd's table in the lobby before you go. Thanks again to Lloyd for being here tonight.